Tonight, on the ABC Australian News Network, we're up close and personal as we cast a beady eye on the great Australian news wasteland. Giant Croc drinks his own weight in Bavarian lager. Russell Crowe gone crackers. A-lister star invests his entire fortune in multinational snack company and then challenges Hugh Jackman to fistfight in bar. And the eyes of the world turn on Australia as we're held to ransom by renegade scientist Professor O.D. Adcock. Our main story tonight. Why here? Why us? Cursed by the gods, some are saying, as our nation's finest diplomats attempt to reason with the diabolical mastermind known as Professor Adcock. As powerful Adcock anti-sentiment stirs in Parliament, we look to our resident expert on these matters, Gerry Bahnheimer, for clarification on the house that Adcock built and then smashed to the ground. Gerry, what can you tell us about these events? Gerry, shall I repeat the question?
Sure.
What can you tell us about these recent events concerning Professor Adcock? I know that you're a close confidant of his, and you've worked with him previously on other projects. What is there to know?
Are we on?
Yes, we're on.
On.
We're rolling, mate. Let's go.
Hello, Mummy. Ha.
Gerry.
So, Professor Adcock, a brilliant mind, a young protege of mine. Such a tragedy, he decided to turn his powers, which could have been exalted for the purpose of good, towards utter evil. Still, some think of him as a madman. I know better. For years we attempted to crack the guns-lungs paradigm. Guns over lungs multiplied by the golden ratio of 1.6. It was Ollie, I should say Professor Adcock, but he's a friend of mine.
It's spoken about in some circles, isn't it, this formula? They say that if you think you understand guns and lungs formula, you don't understand guns and lungs formula.
Exactly, don't understand the guns and lungs formula, yes. It is a great debate within scientific circles. There are those, particularly Western American scientists, excuse me, who have decided that they understand the concept, but I have to assure you it is lies. All lies!
Bloody Americans. Okay then, Gerry, I mean, you speak of evil, you speak of some kind of diabolical plan. I mean, what is he planning? What is this doomsday scenario? I mean, worst case, what's going to go wrong?
Well, I think we should clarify in the terms of the doomsday scenario. It is a very bandied about expression.
I hesitate to use the word doomsday, but
actually, I mean, doomsday, I would say this is more of a doom, shall we say, dusk, or shall we say, evening meal, for example. Australia is naturally one continent among several on the Earth, so even in the worst case scenario, and your continent is reduced to a pile of atomic dust, which could fit into the average shoebox.
Hold up. Did you just say atomic dust, mate?
Atomic dust, yes.
Right, okay, so what you're saying is that the entire continent of Australia completely blown to smithereens, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I would first think of it more as a form of fusion. It is really quite ingenious. The guns-lungs formula provides a way to fuse molecules together. Used correctly for purposes of good, it could be used to harness a new energy source. So there's a consolation if Australia is reduced to a pile of dust that you will go on to service the rest of the world in their nuclear power reactors.
Okay, Gerry. I mean, you're scaring the viewing audience here, but I mean, what is the real risk we're talking about here? Surely this guy can be got at. I mean, he's not invincible. We sent a strike force in, we sent a crack squad of Australian special services. We take him out, we send in the boys.
Yes, ignorance, yes, scientists always subjugated by the military. You think every problem can be solved by rappelling down in helicopters. Professor Adcock has had over 3 years to dig in. He has the normal accoutrements of every arch-villain. He has his snake pit, he has patrolling guard dogs, the sentry machine guns, even the shark tank with the lasers attached to it.
Okay, so he's got the sharks with the freaking laser beams on their heads. I mean, every evil genius does, right? Okay,
correct, yeah.
But I mean, can't we foresee this stuff? Can't we draw up some kind of schematics of the building that he's working in, get in there, take him out, throw a couple of hand grenades in, some AK-47s, you know, just bloody take the sucker out?
Well, this is no longer the 60s. My own evil lair, for example, was treated by use of tunneling. At the time, we didn't have the technology for ground sensors. How unfortunately, I believe his report is to be impenetrable.
Okay, mate, I'm going to question your motives here, you know. I mean, where were you between the years of 1939 and 1945?
I was on vacation.
What, in Reichland?
I was on vacation!
Okay, you were on vacation, mate. Okay, there's no need to get worked up.
The German people as a whole were on vacation during that time.
Okay, mate, you're on vacation. But let's put it another way. I know, and this has been reported on in many Murdoch-owned newspapers, that you've had a very close relationship with Professor Adcock over the years. Is this some kind of insider information you're not telling us?
I believe that we are good friends. I believe that at one stage we were on the same bowling team. Occasionally we even shared the same hairbrush, but I can assure our relationship is very superficial.
You and him are bosom buddies. You've drank beers together. You've done things together. You've probably had a couple of Sheilas, had a couple of Barbies together. And here am I asking you questions that's going to very well threaten the security of our Australian citizens, and you're telling me that you don't know the guy.
My only advice to you and to all of those watching is this: pay the money, or be reduced back to the Stone Age.
Okay, folks. Well, there you have it. The expert opinion on these matters: we pay the money, or we face a doomsday scenario. Very sobering news indeed.
Professor, if you can hear me, they're on to you. You must relocate from your secret base. You can use my moon base. Get out now, we still can.
What the hell is this? This is a studio.
Listen to my camera. Get out of the guns. Freedom forever. Ban the bomb. All right, okay, folks. That's it. That's all we've got time for. I'll leave it to Gerry.